These are the Mercer Culinary Tweezers for food and for cooking from Mercer Cutlery. Now, why would you need a set of tweezers like these guys? Well, it's a good question, but it really depends on what type of cooking you do yourself. And I don't think that anyone really needs tweezers in their kitchen, but they can be very useful to have, and they can be very good to have in certain situations. If you're trying to host a really fancy dinner and you're trying to do really fancy plating and you're finishing that off with like some herbs and spices like dill or parsley, it's a lot easier to get them onto your perfect placement or to your perfect spot on that plating if you have tweezers than if you try to do it by hand. You're more likely to mess things up if you use your hands, and it's much harder to get them in the very exact spot you want them in, without the tweezers, right? And they're very, very cheap to get anyway, so I feel like they kind of should be a staple in your kitchen when you get to a certain point, when you have all the other basics that you need, and they can be very useful to have. And they can also be very good if you're trying to twirl up pasta and to serve it nicely. If you're hosting a dinner or if you're serving dinner to someone, twirling that pasta up with a set of tweezers like the Mercer Culinary Tweezers is a lot easier than if you try to do it with just a regular set of tongs. Because if you look at the size of these tweezers compared to just a normal set of tongs, I'll just bring these over. You can imagine yourself the difference if, just give me 2 seconds, I'm just gonna get this to focus in the middle of there we go. If you try to use these guys compared to these guys, when you have twirled that up into a nice little twirly ball and you're trying to pull these out, these are gonna slide just straight out, whereas these guys might ruin the twirl that you just made, or kind of drag some of the pasta with it when you're trying to pull them out. So, if you're trying to plate things nicely using the tweezers, it's much easier and you're not gonna get other stuff in the way. I know this is for illustration purposes only, obviously, using an onion and a leaf of parsley, but for less than $10 you can get a set of Mercer Culinary Tweezers, and there will be something that once you get used to using them, it's gonna feel weird if you don't have them. So you can check out the links in the description below if you want to see the current pricing on the Mercer Culinary Tweezers. Mercer Culinary is a well-known brand and they've got a lot of high quality stuff, and these feel a lot higher quality than I expected for the price I paid for them. Obviously they're made in China, looks good, feels good, and I'm happy I have some now so I can start using them in the cooking myself. And that's it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one.